Hey, I'm going to do a quick video on 3.2. Some of the questions are causing some people some issues. So let me show you what's going on. So this one wants me to compute S, which is the sample standard deviation. And then it says, I want you to add 5 to each value, which gives me a new data set to compute S. It's pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this button here, salt, use salt. And look what it does. It goes ahead and puts my data set in there. So if I go to descriptive statistics, I see my standard deviation, is 5.8992. And if I go back, it asks for all 4 decimal places, so I just put that in there. So now it wants me to add 5 to each decimal place, okay? So if I go back up here, let's do this. All right, I got that. So I'm going to go back to my data set. So this becomes, this becomes 11. This becomes 21. All I'm doing is changing my values, and it even showed me what I needed to do right here because it gives me 11, 21, 9, 21, and 11. Okay, so this becomes 9. This becomes 21. And this becomes 11. Okay, and as long as I do it that way where I do the check mark, it will record it. So then I hit descriptive statistics. And look what it did for me. It gave me the exact same standard deviation, 5.8992. Okay, so something's going on with that. When you add something to a standard deviation, you get the same results because it's changing at the same way. So think about this. I'm going to show you in a minute. It's going to get weird. So when you add the same number to every value in a data set, your standard deviation doesn't change. But let's go look at a different example. Okay. So this one wants me to do what happens when I look for the sample standard deviation, but I multiply each value by 6. Okay, so let's do this. I hit the salt thing again, and it gives me my new data set. See? Here's my old data set. Here's the data set, and here it is, okay? So then I go to descriptive statistics, and I get 3.7683. You don't have to do that huge formula. You really don't. So then I put it here, 3.7683. Okay, so now it wants me to multiply each value by 6. So I'm going to go back to the data set. I'm going to change it. So this becomes 78. Okay, this becomes 66. This becomes 72. Let me make sure I'm checking myself because I always want to make sure I'm doing this right. 78, 66, 72, and then this is going to be 90. Okay, and this will be 30. Okay, so I've changed every data value. And then I go to descriptive statistics and look, now it's 22.6097, which is the correct number. Okay, so what does that mean? It means when I multiply every value in a data set, the data set will increase by that much. All right. So think about that. And it also means my standard deviation will increase by that much. So that's a way to think about it. So there again, if I multiply, I'm going to do it on my calculator. I don't have my calculator up. If I do, let's do this. I'm going to my calculator. So if I do 3.7683 times 6, I get this value right here. So what does that mean again? Okay. If I multiply the same value to all my data points, that means my standard deviation is going to increase by that much. So like I multiplied by 6, my standard deviation increased by 6. But if I add a value like that 5 to every value in our data value in the data set, it doesn't increase the standard deviation. That stays the same. Okay, so that's important. Multiply makes the standard deviation increase or decrease by that value. And then if I add, the standard deviation stays the same. Hope this helps.